All right, guys. Hey, guys, Eufy Man here.
And Nilda.
And it's been a while since we've done a podcast, and we're
Been a
trying
long
something
time.
a little bit different. The first thing that we'd like to do for everybody is, can you guys confirm that you guys can hear us really well? Because we've actually taken the podcast out of the studio, and literally, we're inviting you guys all to our living room.
Dining room.
Or dining room. Can you guys hear us? Are we coming across? Let me go ahead and post it on the channel. We'll go ahead and put it out there. And
can you hear me?
Excellent. Thank you. So today we have a special podcast, right, Nelda? And I have to say that this is one of the most exciting products that we've had a long time. Where
he's really excited.
Well, you're also excited about it, because let's face it, I get a lot of products, and Nilda she's a saint, and she's like, what now? To then, oh my God. Yeah. So we're going to talk today about the Eufy E1 UV Printer. And I have to say, as a content creator, as a reviewer of technology, and someone who looks at technology in the 3D print space, consumer electronics, laser engravers, and now UV printers, that this is probably one of the most exciting advances in UV printing, the consumerization of UV printing that I've seen in a long time. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go over a first look. This is going to be a first look. This is not a review in any way, but we have a lot of stuff that we're going to share with you. And we also wanted to show it in a living room environment, as opposed to kind of like our podcast studio or one of the other rooms where we have our setup, because I wanted to just show you how you could use this anywhere and how portable this is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the specs. We're going to cover all the features. We had a lot of questions in Nilda's group that we are going to be going over as well. I have a list of questions somewhere around here when I find my phone that we're going to answer. And then we're going to do some close up on quality. But first, Nilda, what has been your reaction to this printer? And let's tell the group about your business, right? So let's level set, because I know there's a lot of small business people out there. And there's a lot of small business women owners that are out there as well. So why don't you talk a little bit about your business and why you're so excited?
Well, I'm excited because, well, first of all, we do a lot of laser engraving, and this gives us the opportunity to do a lot of things in color and to print on pretty much anything we want to. And we'll be able to show you later on all the things that we're doing. And then what it does is that it opens the door to other opportunities to do business, to get orders. And I'm really excited because we actually got a really nice order from a police station for a golf outing. So again, we'll talk about that throughout the video, but it does expand because of all the colors, and pretty much you can print on anything. And it just gives us, the opportunity to, do more stuff. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
So
very much.
Nola's going to be monitoring the chat. You guys have questions, go ahead and ask her. We'll try to answer it real time.
Someone's saying the video is 1080, but the people behind Chris' banner are in 360.
Yeah, we'll have to see what's going on. Everything should be coming across in minimum 1080p. So we'll see what's going on there. See if it's maybe the stream trying to pick up or catch up. So first of all, let's talk about the overall printer itself. As you can see, the printer is right here on the side. And it is basically, I would say it's a very portable machine. If you were to think about a cooler, think about a cooler that you would have.
To me, it looks like a printer, like a regular paper printer.
It would be like an Epson. Yeah. Absolutely. It looks like a regular printer, but it is very portable. It actually has some handles on the side. So it has handles here and on the other side. And Nilda, can you just grab it so that people can see? You'll probably have to.
I got pretty nails. I gotta be careful.
So notice where her hands are right there. So that's basically where the handles are for the printer. This is very portable when it comes to the fact that you can grab it like this, and basically the dimensions. I'm going to share with you some of the dimensions that we have here. This thing is pretty small. We're also looking at, let me give you the dimensions. I just got to scroll down to my notes. And are you grabbing it right there? All right, so the dimensions are 17.7 inches by 7.1 inches by 7.1 inches. That is relatively small, given the fact that UV printers are incredibly large, are much larger, and they typically have a larger footprint and a small print bed. The print bed on this guy right here is also pretty spectacular, and you're going to see some of the jigs that we've created and some of the products that we've been able to print with it. The print area of this printer is 15.75 by 11.81. That is also something that is pretty spectacular when it comes to this space. Just to give you guys a sense, the Epson, which is close to a $9,000 UV printer, has a smaller print area. The Roland has a smaller print area. We're talking significantly smaller. To give you a sense on the size, this right here, and let me go ahead and let me switch over so you guys can see.
Oh, you guys can forgive us. This is our first time doing a live video like this.
So take a look at this for a second. So this is a jig for printing golf balls. This can fit 48 golf balls, right? And there's a reason why we went with the 48, because we're actually sticking with dozens of golf balls, because typically the golf balls, when you print them and you sell them, they go by the dozen. And it can print 48 golf balls. And for us, that's a game changer.
It is.
So you want to talk about what that means for you?
Well, it means a lot, because we're like I said earlier in the beginning, we got an order of 150 sleeves, which are 3 to 4 golf balls per sleeve. And this allows us to print in fast, especially if they place more orders, because there's going to be more events. And that's the hope, that we continue to get their business. But it allows us to print more and spend less time, you know, and just get things in and out.
Yep. So the size of the print bed is larger than we've seen in most. And do you want to grab the print tray right there?
That's so that you
can just show it? We'll go ahead and show this. And sorry, guys, we don't have Zoom that we can use here, but this is going to give you a sense of how big that print area is. And this means that you can print full-size picture frames too, right? So we're going to show you some of the print samples that we have, but this is how big this thing is. And it has a smaller tray inside, and we're going to go inside in a couple seconds so that you can see that. So let's go ahead and put that over to the side so we can continue going down the path of the questions. So one of the questions was, what's the size, is it portable, and how big is the print tray? The next question that we got was on ink colors and how many colors were supported. And then also the other question was, is there a white and is there a gloss finish? And the answer is yes. And I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras and we're going to do a little movement with this, okay? So let's go ahead and we're going to walk around, and I'm going to bring you guys all the way up to the printer so that you can see this. Here are the color cartridges, right? So here you have your C, your magenta, your yellow, right? So CMYK. Here you have your white, and then over here you have, again, this is going to be your gloss. So you have all of your colors are right here. This is where everything's at. And then I'll show you in the inside, this is the other print area, and you'll notice that we're into jigs. And so you could see this is one of the jig areas for a project that we're working on. It's actually a battery holder. This is a portable battery that we're branding for a client. And we're going to go ahead and come back over here so that you could see more about the printer. So we're going to come back and we'll switch back to the other camera.
Someone had a good question.
What was the question?
Question for any golfers out there. This is from Tim Sands. Will printing on the golf ball affect the flight of the ball at all?
Do we have any golfers out there that can speak to the ink on the golf balls?
Well, we actually have some golf balls that came from a place where they play golf, and they have prints on them. They should be.
So I don't know about. I'm not a golfer, but I do know that we have golfers in the actual chat. And what I will ask is, those of you who are golfers, can you speak up? Do you have experience with this?
Yeah.
What I will tell you is that we actually purchased refurbished balls from actually Amazon. And in the refurbished pack, there were several golf balls. And we're talking high-end balls, right? We're talking balls where you're looking at the packs are $50, $60, maybe $100 a dozen. So not the cheap ones that had company logos imprinted on it. So this isn't removing any of the surface material. This is basically spraying on top of the actual golf ball itself, but I can't speak to the impact.
Someone says it depends on how thick it is applied.
EDG just mentioned it will not affect the ball. So that's a great sign. So those of you who are golfers, thank you, Edie. There's no impact to that. Now, the one thing I'm going to answer, so the big question that we've been getting is, how much does the ink cost and how durable is the ink?
And if it dries.
And will it dry? Because this is a UV printer, as it's printing, it's actually drying it. So you're not, as soon as you remove it out, it's going to be basically cured. There's actually a UV light that is actually going over the print item, and then it's actually drying it at the same time. And we're going to be talking more about ink, but I just want to share this with you. So the big question about ink is, how long will the ink last? This is a first look, guys. The software still doesn't have all of the detail that we will need when it goes into production that will tell you everything about the ink. But what it does tell us right now, and there is a software, the software works both on an Android phone, an iPhone, works on the Mac, and it works on Windows, so it works on all the operating system. What it does tell us is ink consumption. It tells us how much ink is used to print on an item that you're printing. So I want you guys to kind of think about this for a second. I'm going to give you a number. Now, doing some math based on how much ink is in every single one of those cartridges and how much ink is consumed and what we know of the pricing of the ink, I'm going to share with you how much does it cost to print 12 golf balls, right? How much does it cost to print 12 golf balls?
He was working on the math yesterday.
I was doing a lot of math on this. So I want to share it because this is pretty exciting. And here's the thing I want to tell you. Does anyone know how much people charge for a dozen golf balls printed, like personalized? Is anybody out there? Has anyone ordered golf balls that basically have a brand on there? Or have you checked any websites to see how much they charge? Just asking. Anybody out there? We'll take a look.
Waiting.
Anybody know how much to charge? Or anyone want to cheat and look it up really quick?
Google it.
You can Google it really fast.
Google knows everything.
I'm going to tell you. So I've seen golf balls that cost, depending on the brand, Callaway, as well as some other brands that are out there, $19 a dozen. And some of the major websites that sell personalized golf balls sell the golf balls from $19. They upsell it for $39. $39 for a dozen golf balls that are personalized. Yeah. So what is the cost of 12 golf balls as we know it? And again, this is as we know it, right? So a lot of stuff can change. It could be better. It's all dependent on many factors. Guess what? 4 cents. You guys hear that? 4 cents to print 12 golf balls. And when I talk about 12 golf balls, we're talking about golf balls, and I'm going to show you guys some examples. And now keep in mind, don't judge the quality, because I was actually trying to print over some balls and get, let me see if I have one here that has, yeah, I'll bring one up on camera. I'm going to show you guys a sample. I've done color and I've done black and white. So let's take a look at this.
Got a couple of questions.
So take a look at this golf ball.
Oh, that was a beautiful one.
So this right here, to print something like this, and if you want to print a dozen of golf balls like this, it's going to cost you 4 cents. 4 cents. So think about how many golf balls can you print? And also think about what your profit margin will be, given that 12 golf balls are going to cost you 4 cents to print, and you're going to be able to charge upwards of $20 per dozen. All right. So that is that's one of the things I wanted to share with you about the golf balls. You wanted to say something, Noah?
No, I said we got questions here, and I want to know if you want to. First of all, David, Mia, how long would the machine if we keep it maintained?
Yeah.
Again, someone did answer. He goes, "We don't work for Eufy." So.
Yeah. No, we don't. We don't.
So we won't be able to tell.
Yeah.
We don't.
So I do a lot of product reviews, and I do a lot of reviews for a lot of different companies. And one of the things that I'm able to have is unbiased reviews. And what you'll find is there's a lot more to learn about the printer, but there's still some things that I'm not allowed to share, and a lot of people are not allowed to share because Eufy is going to have their launch, and we want to make sure that there's room for that. Yeah, so there's certain things that people are starting to share, and I'm kind of sharing the same thing that folks can share. So I'm sharing with you, the specs which we're allowed to talk about. You're seeing some of the print quality things that are coming out. And there's going to be more information coming about the machine. But what I can tell you is that this is a spectacular machine that has been opening up doors for Nilda's business. And Nilda, do you want to talk a little bit about that while I bring up some other items?
About the business that we're getting?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because what we did is that we, just testing out the machine, we actually sent a sample over to a picture sample to someone who was in the police force, and they're having, and just one in particular, they're having a golf outing. Again, these are perfect for golf outings, and they loved it so much because they actually had another company that did it for them, right?
Yeah.
And so now, taking somebody else's business away. But yeah, they ordered a lot, not just golf balls. They ordered well, we're going to be talking about that. The memory sticks.
Yeah.
They also ordered the koozies. And they placed some other orders. So, but those are the big orders that we're getting from them right now. And we're just hoping that, you know, as they see our quality of work that's coming in, because this is actually great quality, that they continue to order from us in next events too. So, yeah.
So the golf balls, or at least the UV printer, has been opening up and also allowing us to have additional products that we sell to several clients. And literally, we've been getting, since we have the Eufy and the UV printer, we have had more interest than it would be laser engraving alone.
Yeah, only because because of the color and all that stuff that we can do to it.
Okay. Another question that I want to answer, and so I want to share with you some of the testing that we've been doing. We haven't been using this printer every day. The biggest thing so I've been doing a lot of research, and I want to say that I am new to UV, but I am not new to research. So I've been on many of the major brand sites. I'm not going to say which ones because I don't want to get kicked off, but I've been in all of the sites that sell UV lasers or use UV printers. And the common thing I see is the printer gets shipped, the printer gets set up by a professional crew, and the printer is trained by someone to use it. So let me go over that again. There's three things I see. Someone basically places the order and the printer is shipped to someone's house. They cannot use it. Someone has to come in and set it up. They still can't use it. Someone has to have training, and then that's when they use it. So those are the steps with some of the larger brands that are out there. And let me tell you, if you have ever purchased a Epson printer, we're talking the EcoTank type, where you basically pour the ink inside and you do your print calibration and you're set to go. And if you know that experience is maybe anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes at most, depending on if you're interrupted, that's what this printer is all about. There's no crew that has to come out. There's no setup that someone has to do for you. And when it comes to training, well, let's ask Nilda, who really, she told me she's so excited about this machine that she said, I want to do it. I don't want you doing it. And I got kicked off of the computer. And Nilda, how easy was it to use?
Super easy. Super easy. The application, everything's just so much easy. Or then, I mean, we've done UV laser, and that's a little bit too difficult for me, but this is easy. You can even use your phone for this. Even your phone. You can literally just place it on, on wherever you're gonna, because it has a camera, and you're able to print directly from your phone. And that's the cool thing.
Yeah. So would you say if someone knows how to do PowerPoint, they could do this?
They can do PowerPoint, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So there was a question out there that someone said, hey, can you do phone cases? Right?
Yeah, someone just asked that right now.
Someone just asked about the phone cases.
Which we did.
So I just want to show you a phone case that I did. This is not a special phone case. This isn't a die sub case. This is actually a case from a company called iBlazon that we do reviews on. And let me show you this case. So one of my son's friends, he is a fan of the Spider-Verse. And basically said, and my son said, hey, can you print a Spider-Verse case? This case was printed on the printer. Check that out, guys. Nothing special. And I'm going to open up the case because the case has one of those areas that has the magnetic stand. I did not tape this. I didn't do anything. Notice how clean that engrave was. Check that out right there. Or nothing. I keep on saying engrave because I'm used to lasers.
I know.
Look how clean this is. No dripping. Nothing happened. This is what it's all about. Right? And let me show you the sides here. Now I have a little overspray because I was a little over eager to do this.
Well, that's the first one you printed.
Yeah, and this is actually the very first one that we did. But this is a phone case. There's other things. So you want to show some of the other products that we have there?
Yes.
Now, while Nilda's bringing up a product, let's talk about what happens with the ink. I want to do that as she's showing that image there. So one of the things about the ink is that the ink, every hour, there's going to be I don't want to call it a purge process, but there's a process where the actual print heads or the ink will basically, I'm going to call it a spits. It doesn't spit, but there's a drop of ink that's being expelled from the print heads every hour. And it's literally a drop. It's not enough to extinguish or use up the entire cartridge on the actual printer, but it's enough so that the print heads remain moist and you don't have any clogging. So that happens every hour, and it is audible because Nova can hear it. Because I've had this in our living room, and you'll hear like a click click as it's doing it. There's this clicking sound, right?
Yeah, when it's cleaning it, yes.
Now, what we've also done is I wanted to leave this machine without use for a week, right? The second, or actually the fourth thing that I see a lot on these groups when it comes to printers is that print heads get clogged. People have problems unclogging them, and people are just desperate to get their printers to work, and it's not working. So I let this printer off, well, not off, without printing for a full week. When I came back, all I did was I pushed the button that said inject ink, and the printer was up and going in a matter of about anywhere 5 to 15 minutes. So what happens is after 3 days of no use, the printer removes all of the ink that's in the print head. All of the I would say the tubing, everything, it sucks it back into the actual ink cartridges. And then it has a cleaning fluid that gets pumped into the print head, as well as, think about whatever plumbing is inside. And it basically goes in something that's called a moisturizing mode. And it remains in moisturizing mode until you use it again. When I come to use the printer, I basically tell it, inject ink. And the important thing I want to share with you guys is I have not calibrated. I have not done a print test. I have not done any of the things that I did when I first set it up. I didn't have to do it. All I did is I had ink go back into the print head, and then I started printing. And I just want to show you that test that I did was just done this week, right? So I came back from a business trip, and that business trip, what I did is after I injected ink back into the system, this is what I printed. This is a magnet, and this is a magnet that actually has a gloss finish to it. So you guys can see right here, you see that?
I love this one.
And that was after 1 week of the printer with no use, and the printer going into that moisturizing kind of storage mode. So that's what it did. Now this one right here is a different one that you're going to see. This is
our first test.
This is our very first one, right? And do you want to show the angles? You want to talk about what that looks like?
It's got like a 3D effect to it, kind of like a. You see that? Does it come through?
Yeah, it's coming through.
Okay.
So basically this, just like when you're doing coins, you know how coins, people do the embossing where they remove the material? This solution basically has the ability to build up the material. And when it builds up the material, it's basically creating this effect. Let me put this in a little angle right here. Notice that this Statue of Liberty is coming off of the magnet. Let me go right here. So you can see how it's raised. It's not flat, and it has a gloss. So that's a feature of the printer as well. So far, the printer, I have not experienced a clog. The printer, I haven't had any print head issues. I've had it dormant or without use for a week, and it's recovered without any special print tests or anything like this. But I will say the one feature that you have to have is the printer has to remain plugged in, at least to my knowledge, right? To what I know today, it has to be plugged in. Later. There was another reviewer basically said that the printer did not have an off button. That is not true. That's the printer does have an off button. And how do I know it? I pushed it by mistake. So I know that it turns off, and you can turn it on again. And it has a button, and I'm going to show you guys where it's at. So I'm going to take the camera over here and show you guys, see if that comes up. These guys see right there, that is the actual power button, that green button that you see right there, and that's the power. So what you do is you would press and hold that green button for like 10 seconds, and then it will basically power up the unit in the event that you do turn it off. But in order to get that feature that we're talking about, where you're getting that recycling and that moisturizing mode, you need to make sure that you have it plugged in. So I just wanted to share with that.
Holly Fred asked a question. I have a question. I have a question on the laminator. Does it accept a roll, or you have to sheet feed it?
Okay. So laminator. Let me go ahead.
You got to switch the camera.
I got to switch the camera. Hold on a second. Laminator. Here's the laminator. Has a roll. Okay. And I have made stickers. We're going to show stickers in a couple seconds. We want to show you some of the other things that we have going on here. So we covered ink. We covered the fact that it doesn't clog yet for us. Let's talk about something else that I'm super geeked out about that I made for this printer. This printer has a carbon filter, right?
Yes, it does.
But when you have someone who has an engineering background,
oh God,
what do? You make it better. So what we designed, let me show you what I designed. And I'm going to remove this. This is where the put that in, and I'm going to come around. You can tell I'm really proud of my implementation. What you see,
well, it was either that or divorce. So,
so one of the things that I did is I created an adapter to connect the E1 to an air purifier. And for us, this is super cool because there is a slight smell. This is resin. Oh, yeah. This is resin ink. And there's a light odor, not significant, but there's enough that I noticed it, especially when it's closed and you open it up. Because it's consistently working, there's a slight smell. So one of the things I wanted to do was say, hey, if I use this on location, and someone's never smelled this before, I don't want them to ask me what that smell is. So I have created an adapter that connects it to an air purifier that's actually sitting right next to the machine right now. And I can tell you nothing, there's no smell at all.
No, I can't smell it. Usually when I would walk inside the house, at the beginning when we first got it, I was able to kind of get a smell to it. But now with this new thingy he made, I don't smell it anymore. You remove it, you'll smell it a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's got to stay put in place.
Yeah, so I put it there, and anytime when we're going to use the printer we just turn on the air purifier. It starts doing its thing, and then there's no smell. So super cool, guys, and it's going to be available on Nilda's store too. For those of you who are interested in it, we'll be posting it really soon, so you'll be able to use something like that. I actually have it connected to a Xtool AP2 air purifier. I know there's a lot of Xtool people that follow us. We're there too, and right there.
I think that was like the best thing they created, Xtool.
Yep.
All right. Someone did ask, do your jigs come with the templates for the software they're using? This is
yeah. So that's a good question. I have some templates. I'm trying to see how predictable they are. I'm going to see how well they work, because especially when you're looking at the golf ball jig or the golf ball jig, it is really about just drag and drop. I did create kind of like a placeholder for them. I have to see how that's going to work out. So I can't commit that there will be something like that. What I can commit to is that there will be an SVG that will help you with alignment. But because it has a camera, and that's one thing I wanted to mention, has a camera, it aligns really nicely. So it does a really nice job. So let's talk about the other thing that we printed. And Nilda, do you want to talk about this right here? I'm going to go ahead and switch camera.
Well, it's graduation season. Is it coming up? There we
go.
Senior mom. I think I have it upside down. There we go. This is a nice wood keychain that we printed out. This is per my request. So I actually love how it came out. This is something that you can drop off at high schools.
It's someone's favorite color too. So,
mine.
Yeah.
Pink. Pink. Yeah, this is something that you can create and then drop it off at the schools for senior. That's literally around the corner.
Yep.
Trying to give you ideas to make money.
Yeah. So, and this steps up what you have. And I don't know how many of you saw this coaster, but this was a coaster that we printed as well. Look at the color. Look at how vibrant that is.
So vibrant.
And then we also did some for our dogs. So we have some of our dogs that have passed away. We've created some coasters. These are Sublimation coasters, and they printed really nicely. For those of you who serve in our military, we thank you for your service. And we have a lot of family that have served and continue to serve. And we did this coaster, which is a Sublimation coaster. And you can see how beautiful this came out right here. Right? And this is pennies, guys. This is not $1 to print. You know, this is pennies, the amount of material that we have. Do you want to show some of the things that you're doing for real estate?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if they got to see it, but these are door hangers for our real estate. We actually were I went to a broker's open, and the agent had this on her, something similar on the door. And I thought this was a really cool idea that we turned around and we created one for me. But when I do my open houses, and then these are things that we created also. My nails don't let me grab anything. What a lot of agents tend to do are give gift baskets to their clients when they have a closing, and this is something that you can put inside in the gift basket. And then the mirror, this came out really pretty. These are mirrors. Look at that. That's beautiful. So just to kind of give you ideas of things that you can do with this UV printer.
There was a question on the weight of the printer. I'm trying to find if I have anything that
it's not like an F1.
No, it's not like an F1.
F1 Ultra.
It's a little bit heavier than that, but it's not that significantly heavy. I got to see if I see anything that talks about the actual weight. I don't know if they have it on their site.
Someone says, can you adjust the depth of the images? Say
yes,
you want a particular item in the pic raised more than the others.
It's right now in alpha, the actual software. You just like when you're creating coins, you can create depth and you can adjust the depth. I haven't played enough with it to see all the features yet with that, because when you start doing these depth solutions like what we have right here, it takes time. And we're about trying to turn things over really quick, especially, and we do a lot of corporate stuff. We don't do, we haven't gotten any requests for anything like this. We get more of the things that Nilda was showing you guys. Did you show the actual gift, the actual tag, the house tag?
Yeah, I did. I showed that one. Yeah. This is something that
the kind of stuff that we get requests for are things like this, right? And so the one thing that I wanted to highlight, and I don't think we mentioned this is 3D printed. So this is PLA. And basically what we did is we 3D printed this gift tag. We put the brand of the agent and then the real estate that they're with. And this is 3D printed. The door hanger that Nilda showed, that's also 3D printed. So we're combining laser engraving and 3D printing and UV in one solution. So this is 3D printed, right? Little 3D printed piece, and we just printed this, and you can see just the overall quality that's there, and it gets branded with the actual realtor name. The other thing that we did is, let me show you this. Here's another 3D printed part. Think about this. How many times you see kids going on let's say kind of like a, what do they call those when they go out? I forgot, my kids are so old. When they go out for school tours.
Trips or
what?
The
trips. Yeah, when they go out on their trips. I see so many of our friends that have kids that they go on these excursions. They're not excursions. If you're in a cruise,
field trips.
Field trips. There you go.
Oh my God. See, that's because you haven't been on one in a long time.
Oh my God. So field trips. With the field trips, the kids get these name tags and the stuff with their school, right?
Yeah.
So to make sure that they follow them. This is 3D printed, guys. 3D printed, and then look at what I put on there. And look how nice that came out. This is something this is a business opportunity. You can actually go after that business and provide that for the school as the kids are going out. So something to think about, something there. Now, another thing I wanted to show you, and I'm going to reach into my pocket because folks have asked me, and I'm going to show you.
Test that. You've had that you've been using it for over a week.
So let me show you what I have in my pocket. So I have 2 sets of keys because I'm doing extreme test. Wait, hold on, I got more. I carry with myself some earbuds at all the time. So I have the earbuds. This is still going in my pocket, reaching out for more. And then I have this wallet. So this wallet right here is UV printed. And the number one question I got on the Eufy site was, how durable is the ink? Will the ink scratch? I have had this for 12 days. I have had it in my wallet, in my front pocket with 2 sets of keys, earbuds, and look at the quality. It has not had one visible scratch. And when Nelda and I talk about superheroes,
he thinks he's Iron Man.
I would say it'd either be Iron Man or Batman. I like tech, so I'd be more about intellect than about superpowers. So anyways, this is what you could do too, guys. This is amazing, right? Think about those of you who are doing laser engraving and engraving wallets, now color wallets. And this is also pennies. This is not like $1.
And people, they sell this for a good.
Oh yeah, these sell really, really well.
Good price.
All right, so so I just wanted to show you that's some of the stuff that we've been doing. And I'm going to go back to our front shot. Now, there's also a Rotary, and I have to say that the Rotary on this,
cool.
Wasn't it cool?
That was cool.
You were like, cool. No, it's not.
I'm like, oh,
do you want to share what what we did with the Rotary, because there was a product that you actually gave a realtor. You want to talk about that, and I'll get the Rotary?
A candle. I gave him a candle. Oh, I forgot to bring the candle from the, darn it. But anyways, because the candle has this kind of little, it goes like on a slope. This thing actually put it nicely, and it engraved really nice. She placed an order. I gave it to an agent.
Yeah.
She placed an order.
And they locked it in immediately.
Locked it in.
So we UV printed the candle cover.
Yes, the cover and the glass.
And we printed the glass. Now, what I found was amazing. This is the thing that kind of blew my mind, is that the candle was full. Like, we're not talking an empty candle jar. The candle, the wick, the soy wax, everything was in there.
We had to take off the cover to put the thing in so it can hold it.
Yeah. So basically, this is pretty cool. This moves, and so you can see this moves forward and back, just like this. And we place the candle in here.
Yeah.
And then it basically has a little thing that comes out. It has a little, see this thing right here? It has a little thing right here that comes out. I'll probably put it on the other camera. This basically locks onto the glass. And then the cool thing about this, you don't need tape. I don't know. I'm just getting too animated.
I know, you're a little too excited.
No tape. So if you work with bottles, you work with glass, you work with...
We haven't even done, we're barely scratching the surface with that.
No tape.
No.
How many of you know what? How many of you, when you were starting out, diameter, circumference, did you know what it was?
No.
Could you figure it out? I remember when I was back in school, I didn't think I needed that as an adult.
Yeah,
but guess what? You do. So guess what? You don't need tape. You put it in this device, it automatically will calculate the circumference or the diameter of your product for you automatically. And guess what? No leveling. How many levels do I have? Those little things with the bubbles.
Way too many.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have fiber lasers, we have diodes, we have CO2s, we have gantry, we have all different type of lasers. And if I'm going to engrave something, I take out my level, and I have magnetic levels. I have all different type of levels to get it level. This
doesn't require it.
Automatically does it. Automatically does it. So if it is a Yeti that has a taper, it will automatically level itself, and it will measure, and it will do everything for you. This is amazing. I wish everybody else did that.
The candles had a taper to it. That's the reason why I'm like, wait, what? And it came out so beautiful. So I wish I had it with me, and I don't have it.
Yep. So here's something else I'll show you. So if you want to look at this, we'll go ahead and switch to this camera.
We got questions here.
All right, go ahead. Look at the questions while I.
Can you do multiple passes of prints to enhance the 3D effect?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the advantage to using the UV compared to the sublimation, the marine example?
Okay. So I'll cover that now. So check this out. This is because it has two trays. This is my mini jigs. So I have a mini jig for wallets, and I have a mini jig for golf balls. So if you want to do a dozen golf balls, you can do it. If you want to do 3 wallets, you can do it. If you want to do 1 wallet, you can do it. Or if you want to do a full tray, we have a jig where you can do 3, 6, 9, 12. I think it's 14 wallets at the same time. So answering the question of where is this the advantage of this over sublimation? First of all, there's no press, right? It's print and go. I can do 4 at a time or 8 at a time, depending on what the sizes are. And I just think that the actual coasters themselves, you don't have to have sublimation coasters. Like, this will print virtually on any material. Like, if this was black, it will lay a white foundation and then print on top of it to get the color to pop. So I have printed on black items. So for example, this is a little bit dark because we were experimenting. So don't, this could be brighter. This is a black wallet. So look at this is actually this carbon fiber look wallet. It has some texture to it. When this was done, this is how it came out. Now I could have made it this brighter for sure. This is my fault because I was just learning. When I think about this case, the case, you'll notice this case is black, right? It's not a light case. Look at how it made the colors pop. So again, print quality is good, and it has the ability to raise the depth. I haven't had to print multiple passes to get the depth I want. Again, for us, it's about speed. It's about time to revenue. I want to print and I want to cash in. I don't want to print over and over again. So this has worked well for us.
You need to talk about your stickers.
Ah, stickers. Sticker time. Sticker time.
Someone's asking about stickers.
Let's find stickers. Oh, we have more things to show too. So stickers. We've been doing stickers. Now, stickers, I will say, are super cool. I don't get stickers yet. So if you guys are sticker makers, I don't know if this is like...
Probably put it on items that they're selling.
Yeah, we're doing it. So let me show you. This is a sticker that we made.
Got the glare. There we go.
You see that? So let me go back a little bit. There we go. So this is a sticker. And I have stickers on the Eufy right now, E1. Here's my sticker. And I have multiple stickers. It does print on a full sheet. Stickers do, at this time, take a little bit longer to print than other things. Like where I can print a phone case in a couple minutes, this actually takes longer. And I don't know if it's because the software isn't fully optimized yet, but I will tell you that these stickers are thick, like the material. So to give you a sense, I can print 12 golf balls, and the amount of ink that I'm using is 0.10 milliliters. When I'm printing stickers, 14 stickers is using almost 2 milliliters. That's a lot more ink than printing a wallet. Now, keep in mind that there's optimization that's taking place. That is not the final number, but just to give you a sense of the differences. But the quality on these are pretty again, really, really nice. You can see, let me try to get it in focus right there. These are some really nice stickers. And the process of this is you print it on a transparent sheet or a paperback sheet that has adhesive on it. And then you put it through the laminator, and then you're set to go. You can use this on cups. You can use this on metal. You can use this, which by the way, we have printed on stainless steel. I don't know if we have the stainless steel bottle opener, but I did print on stainless steel, and it looked amazing too.
Someone said something here. From Van Dyne. I have also read that since you have to use Eufy software / AI credits and be online to use the machine, period, anything you upload would no longer be your intellectual property.
Yeah, I can't, I don't know yet on that. So we don't really create a lot of stuff with AI. We do our own designs, or we purchase. So we use what is it, Creative Fabrica, which is something a lot of people use. Yeah. Or we have InDesign, I think is the other company that we use. So there's a lot of stuff. We're also big in supporting other, let's go back to our front view. We're also big on supporting other Etsy stores. So I rather if I can purchase something to support another small business, we'll purchase things to support other small businesses. Yeah. Or we'll go ahead and create it ourselves. So there's very little that we will do that is, if anything, that is AI.
Someone's asking about tumblers.
Yes.
Can the Rotary fit 40-ounce tumblers?
It will do the 40 ounce, but not the, so you know how the Yetis basically have that two stage, right? It has the thinner part and then it has the thicker part. Basically, you can print on the thicker part, but the drop is too significant for the machine for the second part. So you'll get the top part engraved or printed, the bottom part wouldn't. If you're looking at the tapered one, the one that goes in an angle, then that's not a problem. I've done those. I haven't had any problems with that.
We just did some.
Yeah. Something else. You want to show this?
Can you print on leather hat patches?
Yes, you can. Yes. Let me see if I have a hat patcher on here. But you want to talk about that while I try to find the hat patch?
Oh, I don't know if this will, I have to go this way, right?
Yeah.
This is wood. Picture of my dogs. This, you can see it, it's came out. How long did it take to print this? About 15 minutes or less? Milty?
Yeah, it was about 15 minutes. It was a shower. we put it to print before we went to take a shower.
Yeah, and it was done by the time we were done. So I would say less than 15 minutes. But yeah, no, this is printed on wood. I have this hanging on my wall.
I can't find the leather patch. The answer on the leather patches is yes.
I don't know where the leather
if you go to Milda's Facebook group, do you want to talk about what your
I had to add it. I had to log into it. But yeah, I'll be putting the link into our creative engravings group on Facebook, and we showcase a lot of the things that we're doing in the group.
So I have leather patches, and I've pressed leather patches to items to see how it reacts to the actual heat. So we have done that. Here's something else that we made because we have an order for these. And
100. We got 100.
We have 100 order for. Let's see if this shows right there.
I think you have to get closer.
You know, from far away, you guys are gonna say, "Hey, what is this?" Well, I'm gonna go ahead and switch. We don't want to show the brand that's on there, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch to this.
So what this is a USB key jig that we made because we actually have an order of 150 USB branded keys for a customer. And guess what? Just made a jig for it.
So
All right.
let's see, what else do we have? Does it need hot or cold lamination? Or will the sticker stick to leather?
Yeah, the sticker will stick to leather, and the lamination is heated. So as it goes through the machine, the lamination machine is heated. So it does have to be connected to.
Can it find Stanley sizes?
Stanley what? Where's
Stanley sizes, 40 ounce.
The 40 ounce without the handle.
Without the handle.
Yeah,
right?
without the handle, do it without the handle. But if you're going to do something like that, let's say you want to do like more like a full wrap. Well, what I would do is I would do the sticker.
The sticker?
You know, I would just print it, do direct to film, and that's the way to go. That would be the way to go.
If the power goes out,
I like the comment, like Jig Master. So
who called them that?
So here's the thing about jigs. We don't make jigs to sell, right? I make jigs
because we use them
for her.
I'm using them.
Right. So I make jigs. So every time she gets an order and she has something she has to make, my job is to make her job easier.
Yes.
I'm her manslave. And so I design everything for her. So as soon as she has another product that she's selling, we're creating the jig. And then what we do is, because we like sharing and we want other people to be successful, we'll take the jigs that we make for her business and we make it available to other people. Right now, there's about 370 something like jigs that are on her marketplace. And I have over 600 that have not been published, because as she needs something, the very first thing I do is I make a jig. And, you know, that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love
you. Thank you. I'll keep you. How about brass coins?
Yes, brass coins.
Someone did that.
I
did see someone do it. We haven't tried it yet, but someone did do that.
We did it. We did. I have.
Did you do the brass coin?
Yes,
Where
but
is
it's
it?
a naughty coin.
Oh,
it's a. I got a request.
Oh my God! Yes. Oh, totally forgot about that.
I got a request for a naughty coin, and yes, I did. It works well. So you can actually print on it. You can print on color.
We can't share it.
Yeah, I don't want to share it because it's naughty. So it's I know this is an adult group too, but
yeah, you never know.
We have nieces, we have nephews, we have young ones. We have kids that watch us. So yeah, there's you can print on brass, not a problem. I've printed on brass, copper, nickel, like I think it's like a nickel plated type coin, all different type of coins.
Wood.
Wood too. Wood coins. Yes, we've done a lot of wood coins.
Yes.
We've done cork as well. Wood cork as well.
Oh yes, a cork. The cork came out really nice.
Glass as well. So it does work on glass. Ooh, where is that other piece? Do you want to get that other piece? The acrylic piece that we did. The photo frame.
Where is it at?
You have it upstairs. So let me set it up and you grab it. Isn't it upstairs sitting on the nightstand? All right. So you're seeing like all the behind the scenes stuff because we're actually literally in our house. So one of the things that you can do with this, and one of the challenges that I've had and why I love UV printing and the Eufy, is that to date, I have not made one mistake. And that's really something to say. As a laser engraver, I am conditioned to material test. Every single time we start working with a new product, there's a material test. If I get a new tumbler and it's a different color, I have to do a material test. We get nervous about the fact that the actual laser may not be able to engrave the color if we've never engraved it before and we don't have the settings. So this is kind of like our moment of panic, and why sometimes we'll request our customers to make sure that we use the products that we have, and it will be the colors that we selected. And literally just a week ago, we had for Easter, we basically had a request to engrave on Easter color Yetis. And the colors were like none of the colors that we actually use. So it was something that was a little bit nerve-wracking, but fortunately we got it. Well, with this solution, it did all of the engraving without a problem. So were you able to find it? No? All right, I'll bring it up. I think I have it in the group. I'll do a share screen, and then I'll share with you guys one of the samples that we did in this. So you want to talk about the material testing, the fact that there is no material testing, as I shared?
There's no material testing.
It just works, right? It's just so simple.
Press and go.
It just works. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. Keep the questions going. Do you want to see what other questions are out there?
Yes.
Okay, I have it right here. I'm going to do a share. Do you
So
see
the
anything?
bulk of ink use seems to be from texture creation. Hopefully you can fine tune areas you want textured versus keeping some areas flat. Oh, this is, oh, thanks, Dan Dime, for calling him the jig master. Now I'm the one that has to deal with it.
All right, so let me do this. I'm going to share this so you guys can see it. So this
Some, I want
is
to
that
know
you
if
see
can
right
use
here. This
without.
is an actually stainless steel bottle opener. Stainless steel bottle opener that was
Oh,
printed.
I took that downstairs. That's what it was.
Right? That was printed, and it stood up really well. Like, we've opened stuff with it, and it's just like, again, this was like for Mother's Day. And then here's the piece that I just wanted to highlight. This is an acrylic, and we'll go ahead and zoom in, picture frame, right? These picture frames go for $30. $30. Cost on Amazon is probably $5 to $7, I think it is, depending on the size. So think about the upside to this. The amount of ink that this used to get that was just not even 2 cents.
I was about to say nothing.
Not even 2 cents. And it just took minutes to make. Look how beautiful that is. Absolutely beautiful. And if I was doing this with my laser, which I could do this on my UV, or I could do it on my F1 Ultra. You know how many trials I would have to go through that? How many pieces of acrylic would I go through? This was my first try. My first try, bam.
And we did it for a friend of ours who just became a
grandma. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So here's another view of it, empty. So we'll go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see that. And this is our group, guys. So if you want to support us, check out the group. And you can see how nice that turned out right there. Clear acrylic, printed. Gotta love it. And I think those are all the things that we did.
I know you covered this before earlier at the beginning. What is the footprint size?
It is 15. I think it's 15 by almost 12.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost 16 inches by 12. I'll pull it up. Here's the view of the printer with the actual jig on it, so that you guys can see what would look like with the actual golf balls. All right. So what other questions do we
Someone says, maybe this has been asked before.
Yep.
This is from JE, but can other software be used to send prints to the machine like Adobe Illustrator?
No.
No?
No, nothing, not right now. They have their own software. Unlike, let's say, lasers, where you could use like things like Lightburn, or like 3D printers where you have, a lot of different software, like you have Orca, or you have, some other proprietary software. This is Eufy software. For those of you who use Xtool Creative Space, it's similar in the experience, right? So if you could do PowerPoint, if you could do Google, let's say, any of the Google products when it comes to photography or presentations, you can do this. Literally, with Nilda's knowledge of the Creative Space software in Xtool, and then her
easier.
PowerPoint skills, she just like went at it and
this
did
one's easier.
Everything is
not that
the
Creative Space is not easy, but this is way easier.
Yeah, there's no testing or stuff like that. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Someone wants to know, can you use it without subscription?
Yeah, so I'm using it without a subscription. I don't know what the plans are for the solution. I know that this comes up a lot because of Glowforge.
Someone just compared this to Glowforge.
Glowforge does have a subscription. Yeah. I think their model, not knowing what it's going to be like, may be very similar to what you're seeing in the market, where there's going to be premium features and then there are standard features. I would say most of the features that we have right here are all the standard features that we've used, but it's still too soon. When they have the launch, just stay tuned to that. Which, by the way, we included a link for the pre-order. The pre-order price right now is the best time to get it. The printer with the pre-order $50 deposit is $14.99, and that is the printer and ink. So that's going to include all ink cartridges, and it's going to include also the cleaning kit, and that will be again $14.99 with that $50 deposit, which we included the link. On the 29th, which is next week, so you have very limited time left. On the 29th, when it goes onto Kickstarter, we will have another link that you could use for that. If you can help us out by supporting us and the work that we do by using our link, doesn't cost you anything. We get small commission for that. And regardless of the commission, even if you don't use our link, we think that this is a great product. Like, it's like,
I think this is gonna go well with a lot of people. Hope they don't, have that FOMO.
Yeah. So let's talk about who is this for, because I think that this is an
People
important
like
thing,
me.
and I probably should have talked about this very early on.
This should have been the beginning.
Yeah, sorry, we're overly excited about this. So who is this for? This product is for someone who wants to get into UV, someone who doesn't want to spend tens of thousands, right? Like if you don't want to spend $9,000, if you don't want to spend 11,000, 20,000, whatever it is, this is for you. If you really don't know how UV fits in your workflow, like you say, I'm interested, but I just don't know enough, this is for you. And I say it's for you because with 2 to 3 jobs, that's all it's going to take, depending on the size of the jobs, you will pay this printer off. 2 to 3 jobs. Just one of our orders in our testing cycle with this machine has paid for, how much was it? A third of the price?
Yes.
Yep. One product order paid for a third of the printer. So if you're really thinking about getting into it, but you're afraid to, you don't want the complexity. You don't want the complexity of all the calibration. You don't want, have people come into your house and you want to have something like this. You want to be able to go to a farmer's market. You want to be able to go to any kind of market and take something with you. This is the way to go. We actually have an event coming up that we're going to take this with. You want to talk?
That's in June. That's a dog adoption that we have in June. It's going to be outdoors. So, I don't think we have to take the AP or anything like that with us. But yeah, no, it's something that, but you can't carry this. You need to put this in something special.
Yeah, so we have one of those wagons. So we're going to take this to a pet adoption event.
Yes.
And where we typically, what we do is we donate our time for folks who are looking to adopt, and we'll give them dog tags. But what we're going to do is have some premium products.
That way they can print.
You want to grab one of the dog ones right here. So like if someone would like to have their fur baby and they want to be able to have, and we'll switch to this, if they would want to have their fur baby and have a coaster with their dogs, all they have to do is SMS us the picture and we'll be able to print it. And we'll be able to print it right there on demand. Think about what that means to your business. Being able to do that level of personalization right there. And guess what? If someone wants their dog on their wallet, I can put their dog on their wallet too. If they want it on a golf ball, I can put their dog on golf balls too. I can put it, if they want to take off their case, we were talking about this. If they want to take their case off their phone and they want to have their dog on their phone, either the one they adopted or the one they have, guess what? We'll do it there too. That's what we're talking about.
Now, quick question: have we gone through an ink already? Or have we replaced anything?
We haven't used the full ink cartridge yet.
No.
No.
Okay.
No. And we've been printing. If my math holds, and I don't want to share all my math yet because it could be flawed, but at least if my math holds, because of the ink consumption being so low, the cartridges will last a very long time. Like, imagine if 12 golf balls only uses up 4 cents of ink, how many golf balls do you think I can print? I did the math. It's a lot. If I think about the coasters, a coaster like this, again, is still, this isn't 20 cents. This is still, this coaster right here is, I think it was maybe 12 cents, right? Maybe less of ink. I think it was a lot less. I think more like 8. I'll have to double check my math or my numbers. But I'll tell you, it can print a lot. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping a log. Every single time I do a print, I'm keeping a log of how much ink is consumed, and I'm keeping a tally of the cost of the ink and the ink consumed so that I can get a sense of the ink usage. And because we're working out pricing right now, I'm really looking at the ink cost to understand what my price markup is for the products that we do, and then understanding the overall costing.
What about the power were to go out?
So if the power goes out, and it has, someone by mistake powered it off.
I did by mistake.
No, the powered off. I was out of the state. I was either in New York or another state, and I got a text message from the printer letting me know that it got powered off. And then I called Nilda up. I says, "Did you disconnect the printer, or did we have a power outage?"
No. He's like, "Did the power go out? Did the power go out?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What? I'm doing good, thank you." You got notification that I had disconnected it.
So what we did is she plugged it back in, and then what we did is we powered it up again because this was part of my test cycle, right? So I wanted to make sure that it was dormant. And by the way, the printer had already fallen into that dormant state where it was in moisturizing mode. So when the printer came back online and I can see it on my phone, and again, I was not on my network, I was on my phone in a different state, I could see that the printer was in that moisturizing mode.
Now, if the power goes out mid print, does it have power loss recovery? Yes.
That's a good question. I haven't tested that. I know 3D printers have that.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
the
I don't, but
3D
lasers don't. Lasers don't recover like that. I have to. That's a good question. I'll have to test that.
Yeah. What's the benefit of using their subscription? You don't have one, so.
Yeah, I don't have it, so I don't know.
Does the printer have to be connected to the cloud to use it, like Glowforge?
I would say no, because we've also had network outages and it works. So it doesn't go like Bamboo. The print jobs go to the Bamboo cloud and then they come down. It goes directly to the printer, and then you hear a chime, and then you basically print. So it doesn't go up to a cloud. So the ink, I would say cartridges are 100 milliliters, 100 milliliters each, right? And again, like I mentioned before, most of our print jobs, and even something that has a lot of color, like this, is like 0.2 milliliters. Right, so the ink consumption is very, very effective. Right?
Do you have to prep the surface of what you're printing on already? The stickers considered permanent?
On the stickers, I have not tested. On, I would say, on everything else, I have been really bad. I have not prepped one thing. Like I have not wiped anything down. You know that. I've just been printing. So this is UV. This is resin. This is UV resin, and resin is super sticky. And I do resin printing as well. And I know you probably should wipe it down. I haven't. I've been probably the worst UV user because I just been pushing this really hard. I've been really focusing more of my effort on print, understanding print cost, looking at print quality, and then creating jigs so that I can print a lot. So like, for example, we created another jig for the coasters, and because what I learned is, as I've been doing this, and I got yelled at a couple times because I screwed up some coasters. So Nilda wanted some nice pet coasters, and I'm not really good at getting it to come like right to the corner, because we wanted the coaster to come right to the corner, as you see with this picture of our dogs. So I had to spread out the jig so that if the print went over this area, it didn't print on top of a coaster, because my original jig, the coasters were too close to each other. So I had to create separation for that overspray effect. I don't know if I have any oversprays on this jig, because this was a new jig, but I have some overspray on some of my other jigs. Like, for example, let me show you right here. So you'll notice here, this jig has had some overspray. And I think, does that jig have overspray? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this jig has some overspray too. So this was one of my first jigs that I was doing. And you can see how it has some paint there. And it went over this area here, but the coasters were too close to each other. So the pictures were overlapping and it came out a little nasty. So we had to change that.
Now, if you created something on Adobe Illustrator, you cannot send it to the software to print?
I like using it like if it was a print driver kind of thing. I don't think so. I haven't tried that.
If you create something on Adobe.
So if I create, so I use Photoshop. I use Photoshop, I use Canva, and I use a couple other programs for design. And what I do is I convert the images into PNG or JPEG, and I upload it into Eufy's software. And the big change for my workflow has been, because we do a lot of laser engraving, we're very SVG, vector centric. Like this home is vector, vector, vector. I had to think differently. And many times I catch myself, I bring in a vector into the software and I kind of like want to kick myself, because I can do color now. And when you're going to do color, you need to think about PNG. So that's been the big shift for us. The software does have background removal software. So as soon as you bring in an image in, you could hit remove the background, and it removes the background. It does really, really well. But that's been the biggest difference. But that's how I use the software. It has no pass-through.
Do you know when the launch starts?
29th.
That's the launch and the kickstart.
Yeah, okay. 29th. So there's going to be a huge, you'll see the printer running. You'll see a lot of other stuff. Right now, what we're doing is showing kind of like the products, the things that we've created. Some people have been showing a little bit of the prints. There's not a lot to see when it prints. It's just a print head going back and forth and a light. Not much there. I'm hoping that by you seeing the quality of the print, you can get a sense of what kind of printer this is. I have to say though, this is not a Mamaki replacement. This is not an Epson replacement. This is not a Roland replacement. There's all these other brands that are out there. There are a lot of really great brands out there. But for us, for the portability, the fact that we don't know if we want to spend that kind of money, like if we talked about this.
Yeah,
if our UV printing business grows at the rate that it's growing right now, I can see myself buying one of the big boys. I can't see myself justifying spending the kind of money on one of those big boys, and because I'm not using it, the print heads go bad, ink cartridges go bad, or I have to do maintenance. So that's why I'm excited about this, because I'm excited about what it does for us, but I'm also excited about the fact that I'm not overly concerned about, you know, the investment that I've made.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you guys? That's kind of like the motivator.
Thank you, Mark. I just put his thing. Thank you both for being great maker mentors.
Yep.
Thank you for supporting our store and for being amazing.
So, and Mark also, one of the things that we're doing
awesome.
with Mark is actually, Mark is great. Mark is sending us a whole bunch of products that he wants us to test. Mark is going to be getting one of these as well.
Yes.
So you're going to see in our socials license plates. Mark is like a killer when it comes to license plates. He is a huge supporter like also for law enforcement.
Yoda.
And we love law enforcement. I think they keep us safe. And so we're going to be testing some of his materials. We actually have a license plate that we're going to be printing out using the E1, and you'll see it in our Facebook group so you guys can see the quality. And it's his design. All we're doing is he sent me the product to just test out for him, and we're going to go ahead and print it for him.
So the Rotary will be an extra charge?
Yeah, so the Rotary, the components, each piece is extra. So the $14.99 is for the printer with a set of ink. And then what you do is the Rotary is extra, the laminator is extra as well.
Does the printer have to have internet to function?
Not external internet, it does need internal internet, right? So it has to be Wi-Fi. I did not see a USB connection, and that's interesting. I haven't really thought about that, since everything we do here is the only machines that I direct connect to is my fiber and my UV. And you know, if I think about my Galvo lasers, I have cables, but everything else is Wi-Fi. So I didn't even check to see if it has a USB cable. That's a good question. I have to look.
So if you created something in Adobe, okay, I think I already saw that one. We have several laminators in our shop already. Do we have to use Eufy laminator for stickers, etc.?
Yeah, don't know. That's a good question. And I'm new to stickers, like I mentioned. So I know that there's a bottom piece where you put the sticker, and I know there's a top piece, and I think that's what you're referring to as the laminator. I don't know. I don't know if that top piece could be anything. When I look at it, it doesn't look like it's proprietary in any way. It looks like it's a normal sheet of lamination to me, but I don't know.
Yeah. Talk about how the textural reliefs are generated, AI generation. What kind of level of control does one get over?
I know from what I've seen, you can raise and lower the depth, how much height you want to have in there, but I haven't really played a lot with it because again, it's not something that is part of our business
requested
model.
Yeah,
no. Again, we're dealing with a lot of corporate people. They want binders. They want, you know, and if we're doing this, you know, there are some people who outsource work to us. That work that's outsourced, they want it priced well. They want it fast turnaround, and they're not looking for anything special outside of a flat print.
Okay. Let's see.
As far as the levels, yeah, I do see it does just like the normal UV laser or UV printers. You see a white coat, and then you see the colors. So you can basically do white, color, and then gloss. And you can set this up in the software. You could do white, color, white. I don't know why you would do that because I just don't know enough about UV. And then you can do it on top. So depending on what you're going to be printing on, like if you're printing on a black surface and you want the colors to pop, you could do color, white, color. So those of you who may know why you do that, I've been experimenting. So I've been seeing, you know, where do the colors pop the most? And I will try, you know, the different combinations. And what's worked for me is white, color, and then white color gloss. And maybe once on something that was black, I tried the color white color to make it pop. There's a question from JE right there. Did you see this one on JE? Did we answer this one? So from JE, is it a cold or hot? It's a warm lamination.
Got it. I just saw it. He said it's a heat laminator.
Yep, heat laminator for sure.
Thank you, Debbie.
All right. All right, we're going over.
Yeah.
So guys, there's going to be another review coming out. A real review.
Are we under NDA?
Sorry?
Are we under NDA?
Yeah, everybody is under NDA with these. So
someone's saying that I think we can do videos.
Yeah, so we are okay. You'll see that there's a lot of folks that are doing some, showing the products. You see a lot of this stuff being posted. We basically have the ability to talk about it, to talk about the specs, and the launch is happening next week.
Next week.
Okay, guys. So make sure you check out Eufy's channel. Make sure they do have a Facebook, and we have a Facebook as well. And we're just super excited, and we hope you take advantage of the pre-order if you're interested.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Thank you guys for participating. Great questions. Yeah. Great questions. Appreciate the participation that you guys all gave. Is there anything else?
I think that's it. All right. So thanks, guys. We'll have more coming.
Yeah.
And
next week after
next
the launch.
week, we'll do a more in-depth review. So we'll show the software. We'll show some of the samples. You'll see how we made them. I have a lot of video footage that we'll be able to share. But this will hopefully get you guys
do have
going.
A lot of video footage.
I do have a lot.
I've been recording a lot.
All right. So
all right, quick question before we say goodbye. Van Dyne wants to know, could it print on something like a CNC carving if the surface didn't vary a ton, or does it need to be level across?
I'll have to check. I do have a CNC machine. Let me try that.
Irene.
And we'll see how that works out. All right, guys. You guys have a great night. Thanks again for joining us, and there's more to come. Make sure you subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
Subscribe to our channel. Check us out on Facebook, and then check out our Etsy store if you're interested in all the jigs and all the stuff that we're making for the E1.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye.